We finally have an update for Pokemon Home, and maintenance is officially scheduled. The Riddler continues to tease these legendary Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet. There's a lot to cover, so let's break it down. Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka A-Drive. I bring you guys a ton of information regarding Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, as well as Pokemon Home, and we're going to be diving into kind of what the Riddler's been covering in terms of the legendary Pokemon that we're expecting to be the cover legendaries. You may notice that I don't have a face cam for this video. I'm currently away on vacation, so bear with me on that. But be sure to hit that like button down below, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And we're gonna dive in because we got a lot to cover today. There's been a lot of kind of additions to this riddle and some big signs that there might be news coming much sooner than you think. So this should be an exciting one. But if you haven't signed up for our giveaway yet, definitely check out this little promo here because you want to get in on this giveaway as it only lasts for about another 2 weeks.
If you haven't heard yet, I'm doing a massive giveaway. In fact, our biggest giveaway ever, and it takes you guys 10 seconds to enter. All you have to do is check the link in the description below, add the online shopping tool browser extension to your desktop browser, which is going to save you money by finding you coupons and the best deals online when you're shopping. And you're going to add $5 to our prize giveaway pool for the end of May, and I'm going to do a massive giveaway at that time.
We're at over $6,100 so far.
So every single time one of you guys installs it to your desktop, we add $5 to the top of that. Maybe I'm giving away a car, but we'll definitely give away some switches and much, much more. So make sure you guys install the browser for free. Right now, check the link in the description below. It legit takes 2 seconds and you're gonna save money. It's a no-brainer. What are you waiting for?
Okay, so the first thing we've got here is Cerebi.net is reporting on the fact that Pokemon Home is undergoing maintenance on May 18th, which is gonna be 0 UTC to 6 UTC on May 18th. It's gonna be updated to version 2.0, which is going to be adding connectivity to Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and Legends Arceus. Now, we obviously covered this in a previous video where we kind of broke down how that's all going to work. You're going to be able to transfer these Pokemon in and out of Pokemon Home, kind of both ways. There's going to be some interesting things with movesets and things like that, but generally speaking, it's going to be pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy, and there will be a few different mystery gift options that kind of come with this that you'll be able to access through, I believe, the mobile application. Basically, Hidden Ability Starters is going to be the main one, but there's going to be the starter Pokemon in BDSP with their hidden abilities, and of course, the starter Pokemon from Pokemon Legends Arceus. So you will have those opportunities to grab those, and I'm sure many people are excited to be able to kind of preserve their Pokemon in Pokemon Home for eternity, I guess. That's kind of where mine are all locked up. I hate to say it, but I kind of like to start from scratch when I get to a new region, but I do like to look at all my shinies and things like that. So I know a lot of people are excited. Pokemon Home finally dropping, and as a result of that, there's been a lot of whispers that there could be more news that actually comes from this Pokemon Home announcement on the 18th. I think it would make sense that there could be more news. So that's what we're going to talk about this riddle here. If you've been following on the channel over the last few days, I recently broke down a riddle from Riddler Poll talking about the legendary Pokemon. For the last 6 weeks or so, the Riddler has been teasing what this legendary Pokemon could be, and we most recently had this theory that it was going to be based off of kind of a new age of RGB, like digital media, and this old age of CMYK, like print media, which actually aligns very much so to kind of how the logos look. So I said in my previous video that the next 3 things we were looking for after Zekrom were a yellow legendary, and then a magenta and a cyan legendary. And it just so happens that we nailed it. We actually got Solgaleo as the legendary from yesterday on the 16th. It was a Solgaleo form. I think it's called I don't even know, the Radiant form or something like that. It wasn't like the straight up one, but it's a special form of Solgaleo, and it is yellow, right? It has some yellow coloring to it. So pretty solid that we're on the same path here with this idea. And then today the riddle that gets posted from Riddler Poll is actually Lunala, which has a very, very cyan color, kind of color palette to it. So I think we're actually still on track with this. I don't know what the magenta Pokemon is going to be, but I think this theory that was originally proposed in a previous video, I think it still reigns true. So until we get this final legendary, we'll have to wait and see. But there's some really interesting comments that actually came from the Chinese Riddler from this. They go on to say that the end game is in 2 days. This was yesterday. A collage will be posted to complete this riddle. Saw many interesting and ingenious fan theories. Good job, guys. But a reminder, there's going to be some not safe for work contained in the collage. Yeah, the puppy stuff is going to return. So the puppy stuff is when he kind of bashes Centro Leaks. But saying, listen, the end game is in 2 days. That's a very kind of strong word to use, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. with Soul Silver. But the idea behind this is that this riddle is going to come to a close. They're going to give us all the information for this riddle that we're going to need, and I find that to be very interesting, and as does Soul Silver. Soul Silver says, listen, this is a pretty big deal here, and they actually look at kind of some of the timetables about when we saw the second round of news in, you know, Pokemon history, right? And when we look at this chart here, May 15th for Black and White, you've got May 14th for X and Y, May 10th for Sun and Moon, June 5th for Sword and Shield, and now we're waiting for our announcement for Scarlet and Violet. So we're like right in that kind of time period for when we would get information, and the reason why we think the Riddler might be using the word endgame is because Pokemon might be revealing these legendaries any day now, and Ku wants to kind of put his conclusion to his riddle out there before it gets revealed, so he can say, hey, look, I was right. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's something going on here, and I would actually, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm filming this video at 8:26 in the morning, and I really think that there's a chance by 9 there is a Pokemon announcement that the Pokemon Presents is coming this week. So I could be, you know, this may age poorly, but that's what's in my head right now. You know, I'm thinking I'm gonna record this video and it might get scrapped. So if you see it, there was probably no announcement because I'll probably refilm it. But that's the thought. And then, you know, Soul Silver goes on to say, it's too crazy to be a coincidence, right? Endgame is a decisive word. Who's currently putting the jigsaw pieces together? Maybe the Pokemon Company International will do an announcement on the 18th for a presence next week. We'll know in a few hours. It seems like there's a lot of things going on right now, right? Like we've got, SB almost just said it to Unite. I don't necessarily think that that's relevant here, but the Pokemon Home update being tomorrow, the fact that Ku's riddles are coming to a conclusion soon, maybe the 18th really is an important date. Maybe we will get something in the next few days. Either way, guys, we are getting closer. Like, inevitably, every day that we go without an announcement at this point, we're a step closer. They're going to do something. So just kind of stay, you know, open ears and eyes and keep glued to the channel. The last thing I wanted to talk about, which I found pretty interesting, is the Riddler came out and said, hey, let's do a poll. You can choose one. I'm looking forward to your selection. It's going to be the motif for June. So if you haven't been following, basically the Riddler likes to put out kind of a theme for each month so far. So we had regional forms, we had legendaries. So saying, hey, what do you want me to do for the next theme? And the 4 options are more info about starters, which of course is what people chose. Gen 9 Objectmon. So there's gonna be an Objectmon. I guess when you think of those, I think of like Klefki, Voltorb, things like that. A riveting new regional form, or the Gen 9 Waifumon. And overwhelmingly, more than half the people in the poll picked starters. And then he goes and says, I could assume the reactions for each of them when this poll is over. And he actually says, and I think we tie this to first response related to the starters. So meh dot is related to the starters. Then when you look at Gen 9 Objectmon, he goes, WTF, seriously? And then a riveting new regional form, WTF, really? And then Gen 9 Waifumon, WTF, woo? I don't even know, man, but I think that there's some crazy stuff, and what we have seen from the Riddler from a previous tweet is that they think that this game has some really cool forms. So I think right now, based on this, the thing to be most excited about is those regional forms, more so than, you know, maybe the starters or whatever. So we'll have to see how the next few weeks play out, but again, I really think we're getting this trailer super duper soon, and I really think that we're pretty much spot on right now with this theme for the legendaries regarding the RGB kind of color wave and the CMYK, kind of a more digital versus, you know, kind of a more old school style, more modern style. So I think that there's something there for sure. So we'll have to keep our eyes and ears peeled, like I said, and kind of see how the next few days plays out. But I think news is on the horizon, my friends. So that's pretty much that. That's our news update for today, unless, again, that there's something else that kind of comes out after I send this video to my editor. But I appreciate all you guys and all your support, so be sure to like the video if you enjoy. And, of course, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And are you excited to be able to utilize Pokemon Home again? We finally are going to get that update tomorrow, and maybe we'll get some more updates tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. Thanks, you guys, again, and be sure to enter our giveaway. You can check the link in the description. It's free to enter, super easy, and you'll have a chance to win big, as our prize pool is just getting bigger and bigger every single day. So thank you to everybody who's installed the online shopping tool browser extension and saved yourself some money. Thank you, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.